Okay, so today we're going to discuss a very important and interesting topic, that's rights for robots. We are going to argue why robots should have rights and why that is important for human rights and the future of humankind. I am Arpit Chaturvedi, CEO of Insights International.
And I'm Stefan Ivanovsky. I'm a PhD student at the School of Industrial and Labor Relations at Cornell University, studying the impacts of artificial intelligence on job quality.
So, as I just mentioned, that today we're going to discuss why robot rights are important for human rights, and we are going to take you through the reasons, how we can operationalize that, and why our future depends on it. So, Stefan, do you want to just give a brief overview of how this whole idea started over that very, very interesting dinner?
Yeah. So I'll be happy to do that. So on February 1st, this is the first time I met Arpit, and there was a group of students from different places from the world, and we all united through a mutual friend who brought us together for dinner. And we were discussing many different topics, and one of the ideas I proposed, since I'm studying labor rights, I suggested that robots also should have labor rights, and the group was a little bit taken aback, except Arpit, who took a great amusement in the idea. And the inspiration for labor rights for robots came from my personal experience when I was filing taxes a few years ago back in my native country of Macedonia. Mm-hmm. And it was a Thursday evening, 8 p.m. And then I was about to send the payment to the bank to file the taxes. And then the error message that I received said that I should file the payment during business hours. And I was a little bit frustrated because I assumed that electronic services and payment services work 24/7. But then after I got the error message, I was thinking, why am I filing taxes at 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
Why am I not with my partner, with my family, friends, enjoying dinner?
Yeah.
So that got me thinking, if we are enabled through technology to work 24/7, then we will be tempted to do our duties and responsibilities outside of working hours and actually not really live life. And there is more to life than just working and paying bills and being a responsible citizen, although these are all very important aspects of life.
And maybe then it's not the worst idea that robots also take a little bit of break, and that would eventually force human beings to also take that very essential break. So that was the 60,000 feet idea that we started with.
Yeah.
But we started digging deeper into it, and what we realized that this is going to be a very, very important thing for our future. Because think of it like this, that right now we are using robots to make our lives easier, and there are scenarios, Yuval Noah Harari has talked about it, so many people have talked about it, that one day, who knows, that instead of the robots being subservient to us, we might become subservient to the robots. The logic over here being that if we are able to encode the little bits of human rights that we enjoy and we hold dear to ourselves into the robots, then the robots automatically would account for those human rights, even when they are in a way ruling over us. So that's broadly the idea. But Stefan, if you want to jump a little bit into how that's going to happen, or why is that important?
Yeah, well, why it matters is we've collaborated over the last couple of months since we've met with Arpit on flashing out an article, which we will provide a link of it below in the description of this video. And basically, it centers on two core tenets, and that's we have a utilitarian argument and also a sentient argument. So the utilitarian argument argues that humans are not the only ones who have human rights. There are non-humans who enjoy also legal protection. So I will ask Arpit to elaborate a little bit on some of these examples.
Yeah.
And the other argument is the sentient argument, in the likelihood that in the future, which we cannot predict with certainty, robots do develop emotions and are become sentient, then just like some philosophers have argued for making rights for between animals and humans equal on the grounds that animals are sentient beings, then the argument can also be extended to robots. And again, since by robots we mean any kind of digital technology that helps at this stage of our civilizational development to augment the work we do, like artificial intelligence, algorithms, artificial general intelligence. Also, this is what we mean by robots. It's not just also AI assistants like Siri or Alexa. Because at this stage of their development, they're augmenting our work and they're helping us. So if we extend rights to these robots, then in turn, we will also have stronger protection rights for humans.
Absolutely.
So, Arpit, can you take us through some of the examples of non-humans who have or that enjoy legal protection?
Absolutely.
What were some of the benefits of that, or challenges that we've faced so far?
So, Stefan, I think there are a couple of very important examples that stand apart. The first is a 1969 case in the Supreme Court of India, where a Hindu idol that people worship in a temple was accorded rights as though that idol was a person. So this is a case called Yogendranath Naskar versus Commission of Income Tax, Calcutta, where the idea was that the Hindu idol, since it collects so much money, people do come to worship and they also do donate. That idol pays taxes and has rights of not being violated, just like any other human being has. That was the first. But you go further into the future, you have 2017, the Wanganui River in New Zealand, that is respected and worshipped by the Maori tribes over there, and that got rights of personhood. And as soon as it got that meant that there would be a person, a custodian of that river, as well as another accompanied person appointed by the crown, who will take care of the river and who would represent the river in legal cases and can actually sue others if they are violating the river. And similar stuff has happened in India as well. Same year, actually, 2017, then Uttarakhand High Court gave rights of personhood to the river Ganga. And just like the Wanganui River, anybody who violates Ganga can, in effect, sue that person. So that was, the beginning of the legal application of rights of personhoods to non-persons. But there are other examples as well. Those examples include the whole human rights, the whole animal rights movement. So 1882, we find that there is a Cruel Treatment of Cattle Act in the UK that came in, and that recognized that cattle could feel pain, and that's why you cannot be cruel to cattle beyond a point. And the idea over there was that, do animals feel pain? That was the large debate around that time, and it was indeed established that animals do actually feel pain, and that's why they were given those rights. And now recently, not just animals, but also or not just mammals such as cattle, but also sea animals such as prawns. There's been a lively debate that whether these simple creatures can feel pain or not. And Robert Elwood from Queen's University, Belfast, along with his colleague, did a lot of experiments where he found that when prawns are exposed to irritants such as acetic acid, they do groom and they do massage their hair follicles, etc., their antenna, because they do feel pain, they do feel that irritation through that acetic acid, and that proves that they are sentient, and that's why they must have rights. So if you have pain, that means you must have rights. So that was the idea, Stefan.
Yeah, well, very interesting. And as you can see already, it's not unusual that we think of giving rights or personhood to robots and by extension to artificial intelligence, algorithms. And in fact, the European Union has passed the first legislation in the world on regulating artificial intelligence. And these are the first steps in that direction, where we need to think about how do we regulate and maybe think about new types of legal entity forms or personhoods that may be appropriate for the use of robots, and by extension with the aim that by extending rights to robots, we will always remember to extend rights to humans.
Yeah. I mean, the big challenge over there would be, the big assumption over there would be that robots would be reciprocal and they would be able to accord the same rights to human beings. But I believe that if we encode the robots from now on with those rights, we can hope that we'll live in a world where robots would recognize human beings as the other, but since they do sense some sort of a personhood in themselves, or they sense themselves to be having some rights, they might want to extend that out to human beings and to the nature at large, just like we humans do right now.
So yeah, at this stage, we are also thinking through this idea. So what are some ways that you think we could assign? How do we encode? What does that look like if we're encoding rights?
Sure.
To robots?
So, Stefan, over there, first of all, I mean, just to get back to one of the arguments, there are projections that robots might actually become self-referential and might start feeling emotions and pains. And that's a research by Kingston Mann and Antonio Damasio, 2019 in Nature magazine. And the idea over there is that the moment they start feeling emotions, that means that there is a legal basis to give them rights. So one method is the legal way, wherein just like the rivers, just like the idols, we do assign them personhood. There's this whole idea about designing AI in 2-3 different ways. One is called humans outside of the loop, which means that robots and machine learning, etc., can develop on itself without humans doing much. Another is called humans in the loop, which means that a human being is still responsible for what that machine does. And if we go ahead with this paradigm of humans in the loop, that means that we can still assign the eventual responsibility. And already laws are discussing that a person needs to be assigned responsibilities, but if there are responsibilities, there's a fair argument that there has to be rights for those machine learning algorithms as well. So that's one way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what are some of the risks of pursuing this route? What are some of the challenges that we may foresee in encoding rights to robots?
I do feel, Stefan, that the first challenge, I don't think that the legal challenge would be as big of a challenge. The first challenge would be to prove the need for it, and also what if we go into a future where robots do not feel or do not have any sense of self. There are projections that will happen, but if robots don't feel the pain, the robots don't recognize themselves as living entities, then it's going to be a hard argument even in front of the courts. Yeah. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe some of the critics may say robots will never be able to feel emotions, maybe just simulation of an emotion.
Yes.
Or it's a simulation of self-awareness.
That's what I think Damasio, etc. are also saying. Yeah.
So even in these cases, even if it's a simulation, Arpit, you think that we should still encode?
I definitely do, because I think that irrespective of whether robots can have real or artificial feelings, the utilitarian argument holds very well. That it is for human beings, it is beneficial that these robots have rights, because our future depends on their future and vice versa now.
I agree. So, in short, we invite you to partake into this journey. We hope that this is the beginning of a journey where we are going to be advocating for rights for robots and, by extension, rights for humans.
Absolutely. So we hope that you would join us in this journey and advocate for rights for robots with us. So thank you.